Hey, I'm Colleen. Welcome back to my channel, Colleen Medley Makes. Today, I'm gonna go through a haul of some vintage and thrifted items that I found in Palm Springs. So I just got back from a long weekend trip to Palm Springs where I spent some time wandering through vintage markets and thrift stores, which was so much fun. So in this video, you'll see footage of lots of different items that I came across that I really loved, particularly a lot of vintage glassware, kitchenware that I definitely fell in love with, but unfortunately didn't bring home with me on this trip. I mostly was just there to browse and enjoy looking around. I wasn't really looking for anything specific, but I did have my eye out for anything that might work well in our apartment, particularly since I'm working on the gallery wall and the entryway, if there were any art pieces or frames that would fit that area. I'm also working on improving the lighting in our main living space, so I was keeping my eye out for any good lighting options. Come along with me as I wander through these antique markets. I stopped into a few different markets all within one shopping complex, but my favorites were the Antique Galleries of Palm Springs and the Sunny Dunes Antique Mall. Both were filled with tons of different stalls and a wide range of items. When there are so many things to look at, your eye naturally starts filtering to the things that you're most attracted to or compelled by. And in looking back at this footage, I'm struck by a common thread. I consistently gravitated to items that felt familiar, objects that reminded me of things I'd seen in my grandparents' or great-grandparents' homes when I was a child, or items that my parents have collected over time, either from their own lives or from generations past. So much of what I feel compelled by when it comes to home decor are items that tell a story and have meaning to the person. To me, that's what makes a house a home. So I did find a few items that I liked and that would work well for what I was looking for our apartment, so I'm going to show you them now. The first couple of pieces are art prints that I think would work well for the gallery wall that I'm working on for our entryway. In one of the markets that we went to, there was a section with vintage menus, and they were all color-coded and labeled by what city the menu was from. So it was really fun to flip through and see what different restaurants and menus were in this collection, and particularly from different cities around the country and cities that are meaningful to us. So the first vintage print that we found was from a hotel in Cold Spring, New York. At the time, the hotel had a cocktail bar that ran from the early 1900s until 1978, and this is the piece that we found. We really liked the graphic aspect and how it captures all of these different cocktails. We just moved to California from New York City, so New York definitely has a special place in our hearts, and we also have a love of cocktails. My fiance used to be a bartender, and we definitely bonded over our love of cocktails, and it's something that we enjoy making at home and also trying when we go out. So this is just a cool piece that can be incorporated into our gallery wall. And then on the other side, they have the actual front of the menu. The other vintage menu print that we decided to pick up was from a place in Palm Springs. So since this trip was to Palm Springs, it felt appropriate to pick up a souvenir of sorts that captures the essence of Palm Springs. We really loved all of the colors in this piece. It feels very in line with the Palm Spring vibe, the sort of rainbow of different colors and the retro vintage aspect. So this is kind of a way to capture our trip and this place that we have now come to be fond of and represent it on our gallery wall. So this piece is from Howard Manor in the 1960s, and this was a hotel and is now the Colony Palms Hotel, which is kind of a well-known luxury hotel. But this is the original iteration of the poolside menu, which just feels very retro in Palm Springs. And then on the other side is the actual menu. So it has all of the dishes and the prices, which is really cool. I'm not sure if we'll actually end up hanging the menu, or maybe we'll just put it in the back of the frame so that we don't lose track of it. But we'll see as we develop the specifics of the gallery wall, what ends up being included. But mostly we were really drawn to the cover print, and I think it'll go well with the colors in our living space. So the next few items aren't actually vintage or thrifted, but they are a few pieces that I thought could potentially work their way into our gallery wall or as art in another location in our apartment. So I just wanted to share those while we're at it. I picked these up at a couple of different stores when we were in Palm Springs. So let me pull them out now. So the first store was called Windmill City Super #1. And for one thing, I really love the bag that they put our purchases in. And I think this would be really cool framed. It's a really cool graphic and you know, captures Palm Springs. So I think that could be something cool to turn into art. But one of my favorite things to pick up when I'm traveling is postcards. They're super inexpensive and they're a perfect memento to represent your trip, and can also be turned into beautiful artwork in your home that can be appreciated on a daily basis instead of, you know, a small souvenir that's hidden away in a drawer somewhere and forgotten about. So from that store, I picked out 2 postcards that I thought were really beautiful. This one, which says Palm Springs and has some really cool graphics of windmills and a swimming pool, and just kind of captures the Palm Springs vibe. I also really loved this like peachy pink color, and I thought it was subtle but still a really cool pop of color that could potentially go into our gallery wall or could be framed and placed elsewhere in our apartment. And then the other postcard that I picked up is a really pretty piece capturing Joshua Tree, and I thought that this could pair really nicely color-wise with the Palm Springs piece, but it was a bit more subtle and didn't have the like graphic element of saying Palm Springs, and instead is this like beautiful landscape piece. While we were in Palm Springs, we did drive around through Joshua Tree National Park, and we really enjoyed seeing the unique landscape there, and so I thought this was a cool piece to capture that, and something that would be really beautiful framed. We also picked up a couple of postcards from the actual Joshua Tree National Park store. I thought this was a really beautiful one that captures the Joshua Tree landscape in really beautiful colors. And then this one's a bit more graphic with the pink and kind of line drawing style that captures Joshua Tree in a different way, but in a really cool graphic way. So I don't know that all of these will make their way onto our gallery wall, since that would be a lot of Joshua Tree Palm Springs specific pieces, but they might go in other places around our apartment or just be kept as keepsakes that we can look back on. So the last piece that I picked up, which is the one I'm most excited about, is this lamp. So I'd been kind of envisioning a glass mushroom style lamp for our living room to add it onto a bookcase to kind of make a cozier vibe and have more soft, warm lighting. So when I saw this piece in the antique market that I was wandering through this past weekend, I thought, oh, this is perfect. It's a vintage piece and it has that exact vibe that I was going for. Thanks so much for coming along with me vintage shopping in Palm Springs. In an upcoming video, I'll be turning many of these pieces into framed art and creating a gallery wall in our entryway. Hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss that video and other ones like it. Thanks so much for watching.